Hello, today I'm going to share one of my favorite plugins, HDR EFEX PRO2 by NIK Software. Available at nik.com. And don't forget to check for a student discount if you qualify. It allows me to combine different exposures of the same image to show a wider range of tonality of the subject than a single shot would give me. In other words, details in the highlights and the midtones and the shadows. As we can see here, I've already shot 3 versions of the same image and downloaded them to my laptop. Most of the time I find that a full stock increment above and below the proper exposure is a productive range. As seen in the snapshots of my exposure compensation settings in the menu of my camera, this allows me to shoot the 3 exposures in rapid succession without having to change the settings. As you can see, this has given me a pic that is underexposed, proper exposure, and overexposed. I prefer to work in Lightroom 4, but the same type of steps are available from Photoshop as well. So we start by selecting the 3 images by holding down the Command key and clicking on each of them. Use the Control button for Windows. Go up to the File menu, select Export with a preset, and this is assuming, of course, that you've already got the HDR EFEX PRO2 plugin downloaded into your system, and choose XDR EFEX PRO2. This will take from a few seconds to 30 seconds or more, depending on how much RAM you have in your system. This will also bring up the Merge dialog box. This will give us access to alignment and ghost reduction settings and the ability to remove chromatic aberrations. The alignment control is great for handheld shots like I like to take by accounting for minute adjustments and movements. Ghost reduction is great for moving objects like surf or clouds. It allows us to pick which frame holds the best capture of the moving object. So we can go up here and choose which frame has the ghost, cloud, or wave in the spot that we want. And you have the option of choosing the strength of the ghost reduction anywhere between 20% and 100%. The chromatic aberration option and adjustment sliders can be adjusted as necessary, and there's a magnifying loop to help identify any problem areas. A preview brightness slider allows us to see the full range of available information in the series from the lightest to the darkest. After making any adjustments, we can now click on the Create HDR button. This again will take a few seconds. And it brings us to the main interface. The first thing we notice is a column of thumbnails on the left, which are previews of the presets. Here are a few of the options that run from mild to extreme. Presets are a great tool, but they don't need to be the final product. I often use one of them as the starting point from which I can make my own modifications. These modifications can be minor or drastic, and the changes can be accomplished from the right side of the interface, where we see a plethora of sliders. I like to scroll or click my way through the presets while watching the sliders change on the right. This gives me an idea of how much and which tools to use to customize my image. If I'm in a lazy mood, I can just pick a preset and go. I prefer to adjust and modify. Let's try reducing the strength of the depth, accentuate the detail, and adjusting the drama. Exposure is a little dark, but I'd rather alter that back in Lightroom. Command Z will undo my adjustment. I want to accentuate the clouds and the lines of the building, so I have boosted the structure. I'm satisfied with the color, so I won't alter the saturation, temperature, or the tint. In the Finishing tab, I can apply a vignette, which will help draw the eye through the image. Here we also have graduated neutral density filters to adjust more of the tonality, but only to specific areas, upper and lower, or darker and lighter. And there's even a levels and curves adjustment option. After I've made all my adjustments, I can actually save these settings as my own preset by pressing on the plus sign at the custom bar. Entering a name, custom 1, pressing OK, and now I have my own preset. Well, this one's mine. You can make your own. If there was a point where you like the image better than where we are right now with all the adjustments, you can go back with the History button. Click on the adjustment you want to see and it will take you there. Don't like the changed look after all? Click on the Custom button and apply the settings. Then click on your Saved Custom button and boom, you have your masterpiece. When you're done with all your HDR details, hit the Save button and all your settings will be applied to the image and saved back to your host software. In my case, that's Lightroom 4. It'll take a couple of seconds for it to apply all those settings, and then the image will be inserted in the middle of the 3 pictures you have chosen to combine for the HDR. So here we have the original proper expose setting, and here's our HDR image. At this point, you can make further adjustments as warranted. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and that it will encourage you to try a little HDR yourself.